Listen, there's a new way to make money in the gig economy, these different side hustle apps in 2025. This is coming from someone with almost 10 years of experience working on most every single major app and niche out there. It's after doing company research, after talking to fellow gig workers like you, because frankly, I think you need some actual tangible and most importantly, honest takes here to actually make more money. Because look, it is not like 2020 with insane bonus pay. Even when these companies were first starting with really good driver sign-on bonuses, guaranteed pay, and referrals that would pay you hundreds and hundreds of dollars just for signing up one person. My name is Mike, and as I've mentioned, I've worked in this gig economy, coming to you here from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've done this in San Diego, California, thousands and thousands of trips and transactions. Talking about pay, and number one, let's talk about bonus pay. So when you're working on any gig platform, parcel, grocery, rideshare, food delivery, tasks, what have you, bonus pay is down from 8-10 years ago when these companies first were getting going. You cannot rely on exceptionally high bonus pay and the frequency that, okay, they'll just pay bonus pay every single day. Any kind of batched bonuses. I mean, let me know down below. This is what I've seen on my Dasher account. Let's say on DoorDash, for instance. I never really see Dasher challenges. I got one and I grabbed it because it was super high paying. This is why I want you to keep apps around. Every now and then they might actually toss you a good bonus. But I don't see a lot of batched bonus pay challenges. I see quests, but for rideshare on Uber, I don't ever really see quests on Uber Eats, and I see some super rare missions. Maybe you didn't even know that's what it was called. Missions on Grubhub. But bonus pay, it's more rare than ever. The amount of bonus pay, it's maybe lower than ever. And then the batched bonus pay or earnings guarantees, even sign-on bonuses. Let me know down below in the comments, have you signed up for a new gig app? Let's say Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Uber Eats, kind of the big ones. Did they even give you a sign-on bonus? So when you're looking at bonus pay in 2025, go over all the apps, because that's kind of the primary thing that I teach you here: multi-apping, driving, being active and online with different apps at the same time. But you don't even need to do that with bonus pay. What I do is I go into my different apps just randomly throughout the day. You can do it whenever. Just jump in there, see if they're offering bonus pay, because if there is bonus pay, it's going to be rare. So for instance, in my circumstance, when I saw this super good challenge, I'm like, oh, it's $200 extra for 20 deliveries. I jumped all over it. You almost have to be super targeted in looking for bonus pay of what's actually worth it, because when they do offer bonus pay, grab it, because you cannot rely on it. So remember, for number two here, how are you paid as a gig worker? Basically, everyone has a very similar platform. It is base pay, company contributions, promotional pay. The company also pays the promotional pay, but there's promotional pay, the incentives that we just talked about, and then customer tips. Look, I mean, when's the last time we heard about a company announcing an increase in their base pay, the minimum, or at least maybe the range of contributions that they're going to pay? Never. I mean, since doing this stuff since 2015, I mean, yeah, in those early years, Uber was up and down with their per mile rates because that's how they flat out paid you per mile. But since that was 2016, 2017, have you ever seen a company announce an increase in base pay for drivers? So it's not going to be base pay. The promotional pay, we're watching it. Some apps certainly offer bonus pay. So that's why you have to multi-app and just go into your apps, see, have the push notifications to emails, see who's offering the bonus pay. So let's talk about customer tips, number two. It is more important than ever to maximize tips. Okay, Mike, how do I maximize tips? Think about any service-based gig app. Well, you're saying, well, they're all service-based. I'm doing something, a service here. Yes, but specifically, think about the services that really require more effort. I mean, picking up, dropping off, rideshare, it's easy enough. Picking up food, delivering it, it's easy enough. You can still get tips. I see a good opportunity to make more tips on things that are even more labor intensive. Grocery shopping, possibly more tips, and then catering because you might have to set it up. And not only just for the effort, but the basket size. What is that's just the average like pay amount that the customer is just that paying for the offer. What's a basket size of McDonald's or Wendy's on DoorDash versus a total order amount basket size for a corporate lunch party or a tailgate watch party and they ordered catering? It's another reason I like just a percent basis of a tip on catering. And you know what? I haven't really talked about this as well. Let me know if you agree with this. I think, because we talked about, okay, it's all service stuff, but tips can be higher on things that are really more labor intensive. What about tips on LTL or less than truckload gig apps and moving apps? Because there's more effort involved. So what's Dolly, moving, bellhop, moving, bungee, heavier, maybe even palletized items, even roadie, sometimes there's heavier items. Number 3, something that you got to know. You're going to be left behind if you don't know this strategy and this trend. It's the old phrase, the riches are in the niches. But do you say niches or niches? But regardless, you got to know what these new niches are in 2025. Listen, I've been saying this for the past 3 years when the companies first started about what? Started talking about new verticals. I said, hey, they're starting to experiment. They're starting to add grocery shopping, retail, alcohol, even courier, package like Uber Connect, package delivery, DoorDash. Now they have package returns. They have round trip deliveries. We talked about catering. That's a completely different side hustle niche. Apps like Deliver That, Zifty, Skipcart. In 2025, you basically need to take a no stone left unturned strategy looking for your marketplace. Because I'm one person in one marketplace, would love to have you subscribe and join the team here so I can help you in part to make money in different side hustles. At least, you can drop a like on this video if you can, if you appreciate the value here. This is all I've been doing here for all of 2024, even back into 2023. Frankly, always looking at getting activated on different niches, researching other niches, and we saw that. Again, I just got activated on most all of those catering options. I'm interested in medical courier. I'm interested in other things because once something cools down, what do? If an app, like let's say rideshare or whatever it is, you're using whatever app it is and it's starting to cool down, your pay is going down 20%, let's say quarter over quarter, maybe even year over year. If you keep doing it, your pay is down. You have to adapt. Number 4 kind of piggybacks on that, but specifically talks about time. I'm betting either you've said this or someone has told you this if you've talked to anyone basically. So let me know in the comments if this is true, but I bet it is, that you've heard or experienced, listen, I have to drive more hours to make the same amount of money that I did this time last year, a couple of quarters ago. You won't even believe the difference between a couple of years ago. But even if you're just getting started, we'll see what other workers are saying down below. So again, what do you do if you find yourself driving 20%, 15% more hours just to hit your weekly goal or daily goal? Frankly, something has to give. So either the app's going to get better and the increased base pay, then you start offering more bonus pay. Now, sometimes, honestly, I try to give you a neutral stance here. Honestly, if you start driving or working a little less, you go offline, you don't open the app, sometimes they'll send you a bonus, an incentive. Hey, come back. We noticed you haven't driven or worked in a while. So check your emails, check the app. But as soon as I'm seeing that trend line go down, either just anecdotally, or you can look at actual data to see if your earnings are going down and the most important metrics are going down, you have to, again, you got to adapt. I don't want you to be doing the same thing 2 years later and saying I'm running my car into the ground, I'm just wearing myself out and I'm working 30% more hours. You got to look at a different gig app, a different niche Or I don't know if many people are going to tell you this. I'll tell you this. You might have to look at starting that thing, starting the business, monetizing something else, maybe even a W-2. Some people are fine with that. Some people don't want to do it. I'm just saying, if it's not working on the gig apps, only after though, you've done all your research, watch videos like this, understood and try to master an app to make the most money on it, then if you're doing all the best practices, you're looking over all the options, look at some other revenue generating things. There's other things out there. Number 5, I want to look at some actual data here of the shifting landscape of competition. That's another thing that we're thinking in 2025, whether, I don't know if it's been top of mind for you or not. I mean, let me know. But what about, hey, everyone knows about Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and like literally the top 15 most popular gig apps. What about an aging demographic? We're 10 years plus into the gig economy side hustles. Some people have just naturally aged out of the marketplace, bringing in a younger generation. I mean, even DoorDash highlighted Gen Z's reliance, or at least exploration of different gig apps like their platform. Now, this data from 2023 from Statista details the shifting demographic here. We can see Gen Z, the proportion of freelance participation. Freelance, it's not just gig work. Think also freelance skill-based work like Fiverr, Upwork, and the like. But 45+% of millennials, 27% of Gen Xers, etc., in that proportion of freelance work here in the United States. And that makes me think of even the micro level in my market. So relate this to your marketplace. Is there anything that shifts the workforce, either demographically, ages, stuff like this? Because Oakland, near the University of Pittsburgh and some other universities here, bring in obviously students, and some of those students that have access to a vehicle that want to earn some extra money flexibly without shifts like a W-2, they're going to turn to gig work. So when students are back, possibly, it might shift, probably does, the demographic here in Pittsburgh. Other freelancers say, well, I'm actually making more money doing freelance or gig work, more money than if I was an employee. So let me know if you think you can make more money versus the W-2 in 2025. But there's also a proportion of this gig economy that wants to stay in the industry because they feel like they're making more money. Just keep in mind, self-employment tax, federal, state taxes. Also getting your own benefits if you do this full time because you don't get benefits. So number 6, right now, and I don't think a lot of people want to do this, frankly, but I think this would really help you. Number 6 is leveraging technology and data to understand your earnings. I've featured both free options and premium paid options here on the channel. Again, just helping you make money on these different apps and stuff. I think both will help you get there. It's just some of the premium stuff will get you there faster, give you deeper insights. But let's just take a look at free options here. So, I mean, what you're watching right now, free content on socials is wonderful because people are out there giving you uncensored, unbiased, real accounts of their gig experience. This makes me think of our new contributor program where you could earn for your gig experience. That's on our website. I'll have it linked down below. But even documents, like this actually ties into our paid premium feature, just a digital product on the website, a tracking spreadsheet. But you can make your own spreadsheet. You could do it on Google Sheets and Excel or Mac numbers. There's a lot of ways to do this to understand what's actually working, because if you don't track any of this, I mean, you can go in the apps, but then you're gonna have to go in each and every app, and then you think you did good last month, and then it just becomes too much, frankly, to juggle all these apps. Speaking of the apps, there's free versions or free trials of different tracking apps. You can do that as well. You could even set Google alerts or look for trends. You could use Google Trends. You could bookmark, this is what I do, you could bookmark the different company blogs and websites to be in the know of any changes or different updates to their app and features. On the premium side, you could invest in equipment to make the job easier, more comfortable, and or faster. That's another thing I would imagine, 10%, 15% or less of gig workers are doing. It's not a lot. I mean, getting a dash cam for safety, peace of mind, and documentation. I mean, frankly, we're kind of seeing that in 2025 is to verify against false claims like I was here at this time. You have the, let's say, outward facing dash cam, phone holders, chargers. That's always been a thing just to make the job easier. And the actual phone, by the way, I feel like we don't really think about that. Like obviously you're using the phone that you have, but I've been comparing iOS to Android, and my Android phone is like super slow. I just got a basic Android phone just to try it. But even the phone, upgrading that faster so I'm not sitting there with loading times or the connectivity or just lagging like crazy. And remember, supplies, that is separate from, let's say, your mileage deduction. You could take either standard optional mileage deduction, or you could itemize your actual, vehicle itself. This is a separate deduction, or expense, I should say. It's a deduction, but it's a separate expense on equipment. All that stuff that I mentioned, you can use that as a business expense. Brutal verdict though in 2025. You really kind of gotta work at this if you wanna be a top earner. If you're going to be an average earner, like don't do this stuff, just go online and just have fun. I mean, it's fine to have fun, but I'll tell you what was really fun 2015-16 when that pay was, it was almost too easy. It was super good rideshare pay. I'd be out there like most every evening and weekends. There's not free bonus pay anymore. There's not free incentives. There's not crazy high, just continuous driver sign-on bonuses. So those in 2025 and beyond that are going to make the most money understand, kind of funny sounding, they understand how to make the most money with these best practices and understanding what's going on right now.